Welcome. In this AIPMM webcast, we are going to hear from Brian Lawley of the 280 Group about the ACPMPO, the gold standard certification for Agile product managers and product owners.
I'm Brian Lawley. I'm CEO and founder of 280 Group. And thank you for joining me for this presentation today. We're going to talk about the Agile Certified Product Manager and Product Owner certification and exam and how it all works, and answer any questions you might have. I'm going to very quickly tell you about 280 Group first, and then we'll get into the certification, what it is, why it's important, how it compares to other certifications, how you earn it, and then what topics are covered, what materials covered when you study for it and take the exam. We should have plenty of time for a Q&A, and then we'll do the giveaway. So a little bit about 280 Group. We're named 280 Group after Highway 280 in Silicon Valley, just south of San Francisco. And we try to bring a lot of cutting-edge product management techniques and strategies and tips in our training and in our books and in the certifications that we jointly offer with AIPMM. Our mission is to just help companies and individuals do great product management and product marketing using our optimal product process framework. If you're not familiar with the optimal product process, you can download it off of our website at 280group.com. But it's pretty simple. We're just trying to help you all be great product managers and product marketers. We have a couple of courses related to this that I'll be talking about. Agile Excellence for Product Managers and Product Owners is a course that you can take publicly. It can be delivered privately on-site for teams, and it's also available in a very nicely designed professional online course. And once you take the course, then you can sit for the AIPMM certification exam and earn the credential. And if you're interested in Agile and Lean, we also have a private on-site Lean product management workshop that you can take a look at if you're interested. A lot of our Agile content and a lot of what's in the course and the certification are based on the book Agile Excellence for Product Managers. This is the best-selling book on Agile for product managers and was written by Greg Cohen on our staff. And you can take a look at it at tinyurl.com/AgilePMExcellence if you want to purchase a copy. So let's get into the certification itself and talk about what it is. So it is the Agile Certified Product Manager and Product Owner certification. That's the credential that you earn. It's for product managers and or product owners who are working with Agile teams, whether they're doing Scrum, Kanban, Lean, XP, or a combination or hybrid. It will benefit product managers and product owners in terms of working more effectively with those teams. It is a worldwide standard credential that's offered by AIPMM. They test and it shows mastery of Agile best practices. So it boosts your credibility with your team, and it also gives you the tools and the knowledge so that if your team starts to try to define their own best practices or ways of doing things that may be non-optimal, you'll have the ability to then step in and say, hey, if we're going to follow, for instance, if we're going to follow Scrum best practices, then we need to agree on the rules. And one of the rules is the only person who could call off a sprint is the product owner, period. This is the only credential in the world that covers product manager and product owner roles. There are some that cover product manager, like CPM, which is an excellent credential. And there are many credentials that cover product owners. Most of them came from, because Agile and especially Scrum was developed by engineers for engineers, most of the other product owner certifications are very engineering centric. And they'll give you some nuts and bolts about sort of how to do Scrum. But what you'll see in this presentation is that this certification and the courseware, it goes far beyond that, beyond just being an engineering-driven product owner. The exam for this credential is administered by AIPMM independently. So 280 Group has no control over what questions are on the exam, how it's administered. AIPMM has a very strict and rigorous testing methodology, so the credential is highly respected. This isn't some simple, take the class and then take a 20 question multiple choice test afterward that everyone passes. It is a rigorous exam, and there is a lot of material covered. That's one of the reasons why it's so valuable, and that's one of the reasons why it's going to help you in your career in terms of being either a product manager or a product owner. So oftentimes there's confusion about the product manager versus the product owner role. I'm not going to get into that in this presentation, but there is a video that we have on our YouTube channel at tinyurl.com/PM/PO, PM versus PO. This is actually one of the modules in our online course for the certification. So if you watch it, it'll give you a sense of what the online course is like, and it really calls out what the differences are between the roles. As I said, there oftentimes will be a lot of blurring between the roles. Many times, we already know product managers are rarely trained, rarely get training on how to do their job. Less than 2% of product managers have ever actually taken a product management course. And then oftentimes they're thrown in the product owner role as well, and they haven't been trained on product ownership. So let's talk about why it's important. Well, getting the certification and gaining the knowledge will give you the skills and the credibility to really lead your Agile teams. It gives you a solid foundation, and it's going to make you more effective overall. I find when I'm more effective, my job satisfaction goes up. Certainly the ability to lead your team and to be a real champion of doing Agile the right way is a very satisfying thing. The other great thing about getting a certification is it shows you're going the extra mile and you're constantly improving your skills. Because let's face it, we get busy in our jobs, we get busy in our careers, and the majority of people don't go on to do things to really advance themselves in the profession. So if you earn a credential like this and it's on your resume and your LinkedIn profile, and you go in for a job interview or new opportunities come up, it's just a way of differentiating yourself and showing that you truly are invested in the profession, and you spend additional time on your own to make sure your skills are improved and that you're really, really good at what you do. And that shows a commitment to the profession as a career overall. The other thing about this is when you have certifications, it gives you the chance to switch to other market segments if you choose to. So if you're in one particular market segment and perhaps that segment's in the decline phase and you want to go to a hot new segment that's growing rapidly, if you have the core product management and product owner skills, the doors will be much more open for you because then you're not just relying on your domain expertise to find your next job, but you can go into that new market and say, yeah, I don't have experience here yet, but I have the complete foundation in product management and product ownership, and I know how to learn quickly, so give me a chance. And that way you can segue into perhaps the next huge growth market. So to give you a sense of why this is so important, we at 280 Group did a study of 850 product managers. We did a comprehensive survey called the Product Management Challenges Survey. And we found that 69% of the companies surveyed are using Agile development methodologies. Not surprising, about a quarter of them are only doing waterfall or phase gate. And of the 69%, it's all over the map. A lot of them are doing combinations. Some of them are doing Agile with some teams, waterfall with other teams. But the point here being that 70% of the product managers out there are working in companies right now that are using some kind of Agile. And if you're a product manager in that environment and you're not an expert on how Kanban works or how Scrum works and et cetera, you're going to be at a real severe disadvantage. But it gets even more challenging than that if you're a product manager, in that we took this data and then we said, okay, out of those 70%, are your product managers also the product owners? So 69.9% of the 70% said, yeah, the product managers are also the product owners. So if you take 70% times 70%, that means almost 50% of the 850 product managers that we surveyed, almost 50% said, yeah, and our company product managers are also the product owners. So in some senses, this is changing the traditional definition of what a product manager is in the traditional role. And so as a product manager, if you want to really advance your career and you want to be super effective and you want to be marketable, and then learning about how to be a great product manager and a great product owner is really, really important. And on the flip side, many companies will simply only have product owners, and the product owner then starts acting and doing a number of the things the product manager does. So if you're a product manager, it's super important to, or excuse me, if you're a product owner, it's super important for you to learn the product management side as well. So you can see it's, this may become critical just for survival as a product manager, but if you get a certification like this and you become really proficient in it, it could also turn into a huge competitive advantage for you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how the Agile Certified Product Manager and Product Owner credential compares to other certifications. And first we'll talk about product owner courses and certifications. As I mentioned, for product ownership, there are a number of certifications like the Certified Scrum Product Owner, CSPO, and other things, others like it. These were all created by engineering-centric organizations, engineers who created Scrum and who created the Agile Manifesto. And there certainly is a lot of validity in terms of how effective Agile can be when it's done right. But it's really important to note that for many of these certifications and many of the organizations and bodies that support them, they don't even have a concept of what a product manager is. And in some cases, they say, for instance, Scrum.org says, an Agile product manager will only simply slow down the process. You have no need for one. We think that that's completely off base, because if you don't have a product manager, then who's setting the strategy and who's really driving the product? Sure, you can crank out products with just an engineering team and a product owner. You can set up a backlog and prioritize it and crank features out. But if you don't have somebody who's looking at the business from a strategic point of view and from a higher level point of view, really driving things, great, you'll ship a whole bunch of features, but you may find that your competitors completely leapfrog you. So our goal in creating the courses and in this certification is for you to get everything you could possibly get from the other product owner certifications and courses. So everything you learn to become a CSPO, you also learn in the Agile certification from AIPMM. But we go way, way beyond it. So we also teach strategic and business foundations. And we teach how to lead, influence, and align your teams. Because if you're the product owner or the product manager and you don't know how to really motivate your team, they may simply continue to do what they want to do. We also clarify the role of product manager and product owner. As I just mentioned, it's not even acknowledged in some of the certifications that there should be a product manager. And one of the reasons why we're partnered with AIPMM is they're an independent and highly credible third party. So they administer the exams. For the other companies and the other certifications, some of them don't even require an exam. Some of them deliver the exams themselves. And so virtually everyone passes, and the value of the certification is really cheapened. And like I said, some require no exam at all. So we think if you want to earn a certification, it should be super valuable and highly credible and administered by an independent third party. And the other thing, the Agile Excellence for Product Managers course was written by active practitioners. So the people who wrote the course have all been doing product management and product ownership for many, many years. Greg Cohen, who wrote the best-selling book on Agile product management, was very involved as well. And you'll find for the other product owner certifications and courses, it really varies. Sometimes the people who've written the courseware or the instructors have only spent a few years in a product owner only role at one or two companies. So that's how things compare to the PO certifications. And next, I want to just talk about how the Agile certification compares to the Certified Product Manager and Certified Product Marketing Manager credentials from AIPMM, just so that everybody's clear on it. ACPMPO it's really for product managers and/or product owners, whereas CPM is just for product managers and CPMM is just for product marketing managers. And the content covered varies. For the Agile course, it's really about how to lead and work with Agile teams, whereas CPM is how to apply strategic thinking to drive product success, and CPMM is to drive marketing success. Many of our customers will get dual certifications. If you're dedicated to the product management track, becoming a certified product manager and an Agile certified product manager and product owner is a really strong combination. And for CPMM, many of the product marketing managers also will do either CPM or ACPMPO just to make themselves more marketable. You can read through the prerequisites here. Basically, the Agile course, you can take it if you're brand new. For CPM, you need to have and CPMM, you need to have 3 years of experience or go through 280 Group's Optimal Product Management and Product Marketing course. That'll give you the foundations to then prepare. There are a variety of ways to prepare: public classes, private on-site classes, online courses, and a combination. So it's really, once you decide what credential you want to get, then you just decide the appropriate pathway to study. But it should be noted that there are in-person, private, and online self-study options for all three. The exam is taken through AIPMM, and you have up to 1 year to take the exam, and it does require AIPMM membership. And then the costs vary depending on which certification you want. So the Agile one is $19.95 if you take the in-person class, and that includes the cert exam and membership, and $14.95 for the online version. And then CPM, it just depends which pathway you need to take. If you have less than 3 years of experience, then you'll need to take the in-person class for $19.95, and then either an online prep or a self-study. So how do you earn the credential? So you take one of the preparation courses from 280 Group, either public, private, or online. You study the materials that are provided, and there are study guides in the online courses, and as you go through the courses, as you go through the in-person courses, the slides that are most important for the certification exams are marked. Then you schedule a pre-exam call with the AIPMM. You take the exam online up to 1 year from purchase. And AIPMM has, as I've mentioned, very rigorous guidelines about taking the exam. You're not allowed to have it open book. You're not allowed to take screenshots and a number of other things. So again, the credential is worth far more than many of the other credentials and certifications that are available out there. If you prepare using 280 Group materials, there is a very high pass rate. Virtually the only people who don't pass the Agile course are people who didn't study enough and really weren't paying attention. And if you do happen to not pass the first time, you do get the second attempt for free as part of the package. And when you're done, then you can add the credential to your LinkedIn profile, your resume, etc. The topics that are covered, on day one, we talk about foundations, and this is really why Agile is really good, how it can give you a competitive advantage if it's done right. We go very deep into Scrum, all of the nuts and bolts about Scrum. We talk about release management and release planning, story mapping, prioritization and ordering the product backlog, creating a product vision and roadmap. And the courses are very hands-on, so you learn the concept, then you practice it, you get critiques from the instructor, and you really walk away knowing exactly how to do the same thing when you get back to the office. Then day two, we talk about product lifecycle strategies for Agile, and that's one of the things that really isn't covered in any product owner certifications. We get really clear on roles and responsibilities of product managers and product owners, and If you're tasked with being both, then we give you some tips on sort of how you reconcile doing both jobs and prioritizing your time. We talk about organizing around Agile, including scaling, distributed teams, what level of documentation and what to document in Agile. We talk a lot about Lean in Agile, and we cover XP and Kanban and all of the different forms of Agile, as I mentioned before. And then we end the course by talking about leadership skills. So how do you influence? How do you create alignment? How do you get the team all headed in the same direction toward the same goal and vision? And then lastly, we do a section on how to really become phenomenal, like once you've got all these core skills in place, how do you become the person who really shines in the organization that others look up to as the best product manager and product owner in the company. The comprehensive online self-study course, it covers all the same material. It's professionally designed. It has 7 modules and 6 hours of content. There are a number of interactive exercises and study guides. You can go at your own pace. There's a practice exam, and it includes the cert and membership as well. So it's a great option. If you can come in person classes, my personal belief is, are always a little bit more effective. But the online course, the way we designed this, the customers who go through it have, like I said, a very high pass rate, and they're very, very satisfied. And there are samples of this. If you go on to 280group.com, you can look at video samples, and on YouTube on our channel, of the course to get a sense of how it works and what it's like. Whether you're a product manager or a product owner, this credential can really help you be more effective. It can help you be more of a leader. It can help you increase your credibility and authority and validate your expertise and increase the opportunities that you have, whether it's in your own market or a market you want to switch to. And it really gives you the skills and knowledge to succeed.
You can learn more about the ACPMPO certification and all the certifications we offer at AIPMM.com. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at support@AIPMM.com.